Hello and welcome to another episode of Telling Everybody Everything. I am joined off the hop by my husband, Bobby Kustra. Bobby, say hello.
Hello.
And that is because we have enjoyed The Manosphere on Netflix by Louis Theroux so much that I am accompanied now to all speaking engagements by my leader.
I don't think we should say that.
And that's you.
Leader. Okay.
Getting back to The Manosphere in a bit.
Sure. Let's get back to it in a bit. It took us 3 nights to watch because, babies are up. So 3 nights, I think it's like an hour and a half long. We did all right.
I do like spacing these shows out sometimes because there's just not a lot to watch. And we will dive into The Manosphere. But what I do have to say about it is very watchable. And every time we finish a one-off documentary or a series like that or a movie, whatever, I feel a little bit sad because we're back to square one. We don't know what to watch.
Yeah. Well, that's why God created sports for me.
Ugh. And Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for me.
There you go.
Bobby, you know and love the great producer of Telling Everybody Everything, Andrew Johnston, and he loves a bit of Oscars fashion. So should we open with a little palate cleanser before we get into The Manosphere and rate what these bitches and hoes looked like on the red carpet?
I don't care, but sure.
All right.
Let's do it.
Teyana Taylor wore a mix of Chanel and Tiffany, and she just looks great all the time.
Yep.
And her body.
A great body, yeah.
I've got to stop. I love being a woman because I can objectify anyone I want, and I do it in a proud, motherly way. It's non-sexual.
Well, Sean Penn really enjoyed her on the film. Well, his character did. I'm sure he did as well. But yeah, she looked great in the movie. She looks great there. I don't know a lot about fashion, but you can really... I know when something looks horrible, I think. I know,
great.
But if something's like mid to high, I can't usually tell.
Okay.
So...
Do you remember
here I am.
Do you remember the one outfit Jen tried to put me in for the NTAs, which is not a fashion-y thing. Now, we love Jen. Jen's my friend and my stylist. The NTAs, people... I mean, I think people kind of look stupid like this, but they will wear like very princess dresses, and it's a bit like a prom. It's a bit like an ITV prom. Yeah. And it's not the place to be bringing out the like haute couture avant-garde looks. Do you remember the green?
I just remember a few things that I don't usually like, nix any ideas unless it's something like I'm like, okay, that's a bit excessive. So I don't even remember specifically what it was, but there's maybe 2 occasions where I'm like, no.
Yeah, Bobby steps up and goes, absolutely not. You cannot go to the NTAs in that. Timothee Chalamet wore Givenchy. It is a white suit with white. I wonder if on this red carpet with his sunglasses on, he knew that he had sort of been canceled.
Well, he's been something, and his look, I've seen him have some great looks. He looks like kind of like a cocaine dealer.
He's fucking smug.
Like I don't know. Not a great look for him, I will say. I've seen him a lot better.
I've never seen anyone rise and fall so quickly because...
Oh, he'll be back. He's a very good, I don't know what he did. He made a silly joke, whether he believes it or not. I think he's gotten it's gotten too far.
This is it.
Matter. Like, who cares?
It's over something so meaningless.
Because he's not a comedian. He doesn't really get away with it. But, so what if he doesn't like opera or ballet? Like, I don't like opera or ballet.
So, Timothee Chalamet has been doing the rounds. Yeah. Okay. You wouldn't probably slag it off. So, he's a great actor. And I think nobody's disputing that. He's a great actor.
Phenomenal, yeah.
I have heard rumblings that even at NYU, like back in the day, he's a bit... I don't know what, Leonardo DiCaprio in Training or something. He was popular with the ladies. He definitely loves himself. And I think we should all love ourselves. Good for him having a sense of worth, like knowing how talented he is. But I think that what maybe a lot of the non-actor general public might not realize is that to win these awards or even to be nominated, you have to promote yourself. You have to promote your movie. You have a PR person whose entire job during award season is to get you nominated. And there was an actress a few years ago. Do you remember Melissa Leo? Took a whole page out in, I think, the Hollywood Reporter or Variety magazine. And it was just a glamour shot of her, and it said, "Consider Melissa Leo."
No.
Which was the most on-the-nose advertising for yourself to be nominated that I have ever seen. So people are a bit more aware of it. So in pursuit of that, in promoting his film, Marty Supreme, which we watched and
did not like it. Yeah, I usually kind of like the Oscar movies as a whole. Like I watched one movie by myself, the Train one, which is a great film.
The Train Dreams,
or Train Dreams, whatever it was really good, but not your style film, kind of more mine. Anyways, Marty Supreme was brutal. Did not like the film. Whether he acted well or not, I couldn't really tell because it was just, I don't know, it was not very enjoyable at the end.
It was a really unlikable character with zero redemption at the end.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, Bobby, did you say it broke records for being nominated for the most Golden Globes and losing them all?
Yeah, like lost like 9 or 11 Golden Globes or something.
Didn't win any BAFTAs and hasn't won any Oscars, but it was nominated.
Well, it shouldn't even be nominated as far as, like, obviously the people have spoken.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be there.
So Timothy was, putting himself forward. He was nominated for Best Actor. He was pitched to win it because I don't know how they get these like exit polls or whatever, but they have a prediction of who's going to win. And he was quite high on the list. But just by being himself and talking on these press tours, he put himself out running.
Think he talked himself out of it.
Yeah, he's like just really weird and smug. And the fact that he's dating Kylie Jenner, I've never understood that. And they're supposedly like in love. She mouthed, "I love you," when he won some other award earlier in the year. He did win something. I mean, he's talented. But the nail in the coffin and just public feeling about him changed overnight, like a fucking chilly breeze from the north, is he was on some type of thing and he said that people don't like ballet or don't go to the ballet or opera.
It was to that effect, or like no one cares about it anymore. It's kind of like old news.
Right. So I forgot the exact contents, but then Doja Cat came out and made a video mocking that appearance, and she called him Timothee Chalamet. She goes, "Some Timothee Chalamet," and just the utterance of those words in like 3 calendar days took him from like maybe Best Actor running to absolutely not, it's going to go to Michael B. Jordan, and it did, and he's very deserving for Sinners as well. But yeah, these actors, and I think Bobby, what has always troubled me about actors is I find a blank canvas person to be not necessarily dangerous, but really off-putting. It's like they don't know who to be unless you give them a script. Mm-hmm. And when you watch them out on their own, like making choices about what to say out loud, some fuck shit ensues.
Well, I like this guy. And I think like he is kind of authentic.
Yeah.
Or at least seems to be to me. And then he just kind of said something and it went viral. Like, but I mean, he's probably said a lot worse things.
But you have to be so careful right now because there is a war.
Yeah, but there's war, but
horrible
like
stuff. Yeah, but then
people jump on ballet and opera. Like,
this is it. People are zeroing in on the petty. Like when Brooklyn Beckham made that post about his parents.
Yeah.
Like people really need to sink their teeth into something dumb to take their minds off the seriousness of everything else.
And this is very dumb. So
dumb.
I kind of feel for the guy. Like he was probably trying to be funny.
But winning an Oscar is dumb.
Of course.
So there you go.
Well, not that dumb.
It's not dumb because it means you'll earn millions of dollars for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. Mia Goth in Dior. Not exactly sure who that is, but
Mia Goth, that's Shia LaBeouf's
baby's mother.
Baby mama or ex-wife or whatever you want to call it.
Wait a minute. Is this the barmaid from Camden?
Why is she there?
Well, she's an actress, obviously.
I thought you said she was a barmaid.
I thought so.
So what is she?
Is she a barmaid? Don't worry, I'm going to ask my AI.
I don't even know if she even was. I knew I shouldn't have believed you when you said that.
Well, Shia LaBeouf...
didn't seem right.
Shia LaBeouf definitely came to the UK. Oh, my Gemini said...
I knew that she was not a barmaid. Tell me what is she?
Mia Goth is a prominent British actress and model.
Oh my God.
Not a barmaid.
You told me she was a barmaid from Camden. I'm like, okay.
She's widely
I didn't
recognized
even call you up on that.
as a modern horror icon for her roles in dark genre-defining films.
God.
But she was never a barmaid. She was discovered as a model at age 14. Okay, but wait a minute. But did Shia LaBeouf date... How the hell do you spell his name?
L-E-B... Well, Beowulf. B-E-O-U-F.
Okay, but did Shia LaBeouf date a barmaid, I'm asking?
Probably. But
there is no public record of Shia LaBeouf dating a barmaid. Yes, he did.
You're probably thinking of, well, I won't even say the guy's name, that would have dated a barmaid from Camden, but...
Look, my AI always tries to like work me out. It says, here are your possible sources of confusion. Your barmaid idea might stem from several recent events or rumors. Mardi Gras arrest.
No.
2026.
No.
Shia LaBeouf was recently arrested in New Orleans after allegedly punching a bar staffer. An anonymous bartender at the scene commented on the incident, calling his behavior terrorizing, but there was no indication of a romantic connection. All right, Mia Goth's family history. As previously mentioned, Mia Goth's mother worked as a waitress and restaurant server while raising her.
He didn't date Mia Goth's mother. Well, maybe he did. But...
And then AI says, hey, since you mentioned your lupus and celiac labs earlier, would you like to return to discussing those results and how they might relate to your postpartum recovery? I'm going to melt this app with my fucking...
Well, you are nuts. I walked in on you yesterday, and I tried to remember what it was. You're basically like teaching AI to our children and showing them how to like use AI as like their friend. I'm like, what are you doing? I know they're going to eventually get there, but like
it's going to be relevant.
Yeah, but just leave them out of AI. Like they're going to have like this friend AI. Oh, you can just ask your friend what things are.
I never, ever, ever personified it or used the word friend.
Well,
never.
That's what they think it would be. Someone that's like helping them. Oh, can you show this to my... Anyways.
Yeah, like we had calculators. I didn't think the calculator was my friend. I'm just showing them.
I did, because it beats having to actually do the long math.
Okay.
So it was anyways.
Nicole Kidman and Chanel.
Anyways, did we get to her look? Because you kind of glossed over who she is. Amazing for a barmaid. She really does. She's come a long way.
Can the listeners back me up? Because he spent a lot of time in the UK. Maybe there's no public record of it, but I'm sure that Shia LaBeouf had a serious relationship for a while. Like maybe they were even living together with a barmaid, and he met her at his local bar, I think in Camden or possibly Paddington.
You're probably thinking of someone totally different. Just like when we met Tom Hiddleston. And you're like, I'm like, oh, there's Tom Hiddleston. You're like, no, that's Tom Middleton. And I was like, okay. And you wouldn't even drop it. I had to Google it later on the taxi home and show you like, no, that's him. And you're like, oh. So like you're out to lunch and you have no credibility with people and who they are. Let's just call it that.
He's such a versatile actor that I really thought that there were two people like all along.
But there isn't even a Tom Middleton. You're like, no, that's Tom Middleton. I was floored. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure.
I was watching all of Tom Hiddleston's work thinking that there was a Tom Middleton and a Tom Hiddleston. And sometimes I was looking at one and sometimes I was looking at the other. It's really fun inside my head, though. All right. Okay.
Anyways, I give her a good mark.
Yeah, she looks beautiful.
Yeah, she looks great.
She's a model, not a barmaid, so.
Yeah, even still.
Ooh, Michael B. Jordan wore Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, that looks cool, too. I mean, it's not hard to fuck it up as a guy, but although Timothee Chalamet has. He looks like a little boy in that.
Chalamet. He just looks smug as hell now. Like, I don't know.
I like him. But anyways, we'll move on. Nicole Kidman
and Chanel.
She's hot.
Always looks like
great.
Herself.
Yeah.
Very simple Armani Privé and Tiffany's number from Gwyneth Paltrow. Mikey Madison. Oh, I never knew her name. She's really cool. She's like a new Rose McGowan.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know who she is, but looks good.
Don't know this girl. Emma Stone looks great. And Louis Vuitton, very thin. We've gone back to...
She's very thin.
Very thin.
Yeah.
Okay, I really dislike this Louis Vuitton on Chase Infinity. Who in God's name is Chase Infinity? Bobby.
Sounds like a car.
We're getting old.
Chase Infinity.
That's not her like birth name, is it?
Well, no. Well, there's no way.
It could be. Okay, she's a breakout American actress who became a major star this year. She rose to massive fame starring opposite Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After.
Oh, okay, so that's his daughter in that film.
Oh my gosh, okay.
She looks a lot older there, but yeah.
And she also looks different.
She looks good.
On
the dress sucks.
Chase Infinity is super fucking talented. I take that back. I didn't know.
Was that her actual name though?
Let me see.
Like, I know it's her name, but birth name, I suppose.
Good question. I don't think we're allowed to ask that. Like, we're not allowed
to
ask.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, you can't even ask like what gender people are. So I'm like, is that her birth name? But is that allowed to be said?
It is her real birth name.
All right.
Her full legal name is Chase Infinity Payne. While she uses Chase Infinity as her professional stage name, it's not a completely invented pseudonym. Her parents chose the name based on two 1995 films they loved. First name Chase, after Dr. Chase Meridian, played by Nicole Kidman in Batman Forever. And her middle name, Infinity, is inspired by Buzz Lightyear's catchphrase, to infinity and beyond.
Great.
Okay, that would be my darkest secret. I would never tell anybody that. Who are her parents? Is she a little Nepo, I wonder? Her parents are Keith Irvin Payne and Kimberly Dawn Abel. They raised her in a creative biracial household in Indiana. He owns a construction company, but he has a strong artistic background as a drummer, and she is a country singer. And she has a younger sister called Dolce Imani. Love it. She's very talented. I don't like her dress, but I feel bad not knowing who she was. All right, Bobby, I'm just going to blow through these. If you see anything terrible that stands out to you, let me know.
Okay.
Demi Moore looks great. Ooh.
Oh, I see Pedro Pascal. He's now terrible. I don't know what his thing is, but people don't like him anymore either.
Jessie Buckley, our own Jessie Buckley looks fucking awesome in Chanel, and she won.
And she did a big, not a big, she did a speech about motherhood.
Aww.
And being a mom. She loved it. Wants more babies with her husband, Fred.
Well, that'll be her last Oscar then. Good luck.
At least she still sounds good. Okay, Kevin O'Leary. He looks cool. Do you know what he has around his neck?
No.
He has a $19 million trading card. Basketball trading card. It's like patches off Michael Jordan's jersey, Kobe Bryant, and someone else to that echelon. And it's a card in like a case with a chain, and it's worth $19 million.
And he wears it around.
He wore it for this event. He probably owns it and put a chain on it. And he put it on his suit.
Kevin O'Leary, for those of you who do not know, is a Canadian Trump-supporting businessman and the star of Shark Tank. He killed someone with his boat once and blamed it on his wife.
Oh, really?
Allegedly.
Yeah, but I think he started that Shark Tank. What's it called? Guy. Dragon's Den, I think it was first called in Canada, and then Shark Tank, Canadian. And he was in the Marty Supreme film as well.
What? As what?
As like that, like kind of dark character. I recognized him immediately.
Dark character in the Marty Supreme film?
Yeah.
What do you mean dark character?
Google it or AI it, whatever your friend says. He played like the baddie.
He's known widely by his nickname Mr. Wonderful. His primary wealth originated in the software industry. He co-founded in 1986 SoftKey Software Products in a basement. Okay, and then Mattel sale. He sold that company to Mattel for $4.2 billion. Oh my God. And while the deal made him extremely wealthy, it was later viewed as disastrous for Mattel, leading to significant losses and O'Leary's departure from the toy giant. He currently chairs the private venture capital firm, which manages a portfolio of over 30 companies. Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, crypto, energy and AI. Okay, he played Milton Rockwell in the Josh Safdie film Marty Supreme, and his net worth is $400 million. And he won a defamation lawsuit. Hell no. He won a defamation lawsuit against crypto influencer Ben Armstrong, who had falsely accused O'Leary of murder following a 2019 boating accident. So I take it back that Andrew said he allegedly killed someone with his boat. He definitely did not. And if you say he did, you could be out of pocket over $2 million.
Yeah, I would take that back right away. So Kevin O'Leary in that film played a vampire-like benefactor to Chalamet's character and is involved in the ending twist. So anyways, yeah, the baddie in the film.
Allegedly.
And he killed someone with his boat.
Did not. Bobby, the Manosphere. What did you know?
Is that my nickname?
Pre-Louis Theroux documentary, which came out Mother's Day weekend on Netflix. Touché, boys.
And a week after Women's Day in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Or was that international?
International Women's Day. That's how it gets the name.
Okay.
What did you know pre-documentary about the Manosphere and this movement?
I know nothing really about the movement other than like Andrew Tate stuff, but I remember this guy, and it came onto my algorithm. Mm-hmm. What's the guy's Tiki-Taki?
Yeah.
I was getting like clips of him kind of doing Louis bad. They were making a documentary, and anyways, that came across my table like 6 to 8 months ago. And so now that documentary is out. So it was interesting to see the other side of the story, I suppose.
And that's quite poignant as well, that these influencers are getting really rich. Younger people have kind of moved towards this form of entertainment that feels really immediate and feels really authentic. It's actually amazing to me that these young kids, really, as far as I'm concerned, edit things together so quickly, or they just they live stream without editing. And people are looking for that spontaneous, unfiltered, like candid connection. And Louis Theroux is an amazing documentarian, but normal TV does take months. It gets notes, it gets edited, and you saw it when the kids were live streaming it. This HS TikTok, he was live streaming it himself. It really speaks to why that genre is so popular, I think.
Absolutely. And these guys are like hustlers. You got to respect like their work ethic, if anything.
Yeah, so let's go for like the good points of the Manosphere.
Let's go through the good
because
points.
I think it's very easy to hate on it. I know that there is an Andrew Tate inspired like subsection of men who influence a lot of young people, apparently influence a lot of elections, have ideas that are very traditional about men leading and women cleaning. And this makes people angry for obvious reasons, but we're going to talk first about why we liked it.
Okay, you start. Why did you like it?
I loved it.
Are you talking about their movement or the documentary itself? I guess let's start with that.
Everything. So I like, and this is the trouble with even guys like Andrew Tate. I said I liked Andrew Tate himself on my podcast, and he was arrested for sex trafficking the next day. So these guys do say some smart things, and I don't think they're wrong when they say that we do have a biological truth that can apply to most of us, not all of us. And even the one guy, the like ginger guy who allegedly had 30 million but was renting a house in Miami, he was like, yeah, look, all the men who built these buildings, all the architects are men. And Louis was like, are they? And he was like, yes. He said, so you think a woman can't be an architect? He's like, I think one could if she wanted to, but most don't. I think some of these generalizations, like...
Well, that's kind of and Jordan Peterson is kind of like started that kind of thing. And what he would always say is like, all the bricklayers are men and all the guys, all the masculine jobs, guys are doing 90% of them. So that's where they're getting that information. Be like, well, they built this house or they're architects. Because guys do like doing borders and doing things like that. And so it's kind of a Jordan Peterson psychological thing that they're going with and then saying women can't.
And
where obviously
they can. There will be women who are better at it than the men and really want to, of course.
Absolutely.
But these guys are like making great generalizations. So he was respectful to his wife. Yes, he was sleeping with other people, usually with her, but she, when they interviewed her, seemed really into it. I don't think that woman specifically was under any duress at all. Like, I think people are entitled to have a shape of a relationship that works for them. I also liked some of their sayings, like shut up or nut up. I love that. And I think that can apply to women as well. Don't complain. Like, here's how you need to get yourself out of bed. Wash your face. Yes, there are people who navigate mental health issues, but by and large, unplugging from the matrix of like going to a 9-to-5 job every day and never really getting your head above water. If you want to do that, you need to shut up or nut up. I liked that. I liked that these guys were like the HS TikTok. He was 23. He's got some troubling ideas, which we'll get to later, but he was raised. He was raised by a single mom. He was working out and making money for himself and not waiting for somebody else to give him something, because he had taught his online following that you're born without value. As a man, you're born with nothing and you have to create value yourself. I agree with that too. I think the same is true for women, and he doesn't. He says, as a woman, you've got beauty and youth, and so you might be invited on a yacht in Miami, but no one's going to invite this guy on a yacht in Miami. My only argument would be that like men have assigned value to youth and beauty. Like if men assigned value to like women being funny and smart and good to get along with, then it wouldn't be that way. So they're like complaining about a problem that they created. But I do like some of the sayings. Bobby, what do you like about these guys?
Like I said earlier, I think they at least they are working hard and they're not like, strung out on drugs. A lot of people, like their contemporaries, we'll call them, don't do anything. They're lazy. They complain, like you said, and there's no get up and go. There's no shut up and nut up. So at least they're trying to like make a name for themselves. And unfortunately, in this like world that we're now in, online, TikTok, and stuff like that, to be famous, they're kind of, you know, running the playbook on that and are making money. And I do like their work ethic, and that's kind of it.
These guys were not incels. None of them were really advocating
but they kind
hurting
of,
women.
What they do, or what, you know, is they like, what I don't like, we can go into that a little bit, is that they kind of are scammers as well. So they're scamming these poor young boys and like getting to invest and lose money.
Yeah. They're not kind of scammers. They're scammers.
They're not kind of scammers. They are scammers, yes. And so that's not great. But if these boys are dumb enough to like get scammed, then it's like, okay, I don't know.
That's victim blaming, Bobby. These boys are not dumb to be scammed. These boys are just young or desperate. And they trust, like this is the thing. When you cultivate a parasocial relationship
these boys
with your audience, they don't just invest because, you know, they haven't received like a fraud text. They, this guy's live streaming like 7 hours a day. They like him. They think he's their friend. They think they know him. And when he says, sign up to this platform and give me $500, there's a different thing there. They will do that.
Well, he's not even getting the $500. He's just getting a cut of it from whatever company is running these things, right?
Yeah. So it's really dishonest.
What's different than like pitching the lottery to like being a spokesperson for the lottery?
Excuse me, I was a spokesperson for the National Lottery,
which
is a charity, and somebody does always win.
But you see people like advertising like Paddy Power and all these things, like, you know, it's similar.
I don't.
Like, if people are telling you to play the lottery,
well, let's go with that.
And you're spending your money on the lottery, and you're not winning, obviously. So, like, your money's going to this organization.
Let's go with that. So, first of all, Paddy Power specifically, even though you sometimes gamble on sports, I did a thing for the National Lottery because that's different. I like that as a charity, and I like the way they operate. Paddy Power, Foxy Bingo, all these things, I actually wouldn't advertise. But let's say someone does. There is a level of being removed. If you see, like, I don't know who even advertises Paddy Power.
Loads of people do. And I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I'm just saying even like the cryptocurrency phase where people were like bigging up different investments for cryptocurrency, and that kind of tanked.
Yeah.
So a lot of people went broke. And so it's like...
But let's say like Stacey Solomon was voted Foxy Bingo Mom of the Year or whatever. Sounds
hot.
Yeah, she is hot. And she's a great mom of the year.
Foxy Bingo Mom of the Year.
But Foxy Bingo is one of those games that you just play it on your phone and you invest money. And it's fun for people and maybe you can win some money. But that was not Stacey Solomon saying, like, I got rich from Foxy Bingo. Right. I woke up and I made 7,000 pounds. Like, he's telling intimate lies
he wakes
to a
up
following
and says,
who trust him every single day.
Says he's made like $10,000 already, which is probably not true. So yeah, there is certainly a scam.
And then he said, like at the end of the documentary, his relationship with his mother is so interesting because he's like, I love my mom. My mom's smart. I respect my mom, but 90% of all other women are thick. Well, in a way, 90% of the women that he encounters did seem pretty thick. Like the women in the documentary didn't do themselves any favors because who is the guy with like the darker skin who had the podcast?
Oh,
I don't know his name. He was the worst one.
Yeah, he was the worst one.
And his girlfriend seemed, Angie, she seemed like she was in trouble and she broke up with him by the end of it, thankfully.
I don't know.
Myron, I don't know these guys. But he has a big following. He was saying the worst things about women. He's like, bitch, you stay in the kitchen, do this, do that. But he has guests on his podcast who are women, OnlyFans models, or someone who's looking to grow their platform through his podcast. And he asks them questions. The format's designed to humiliate them. And he asked them, like, name 3 countries, and they couldn't. And at that point, I was like, well, maybe they shouldn't vote.
Well, that's victim blaming.
Like,
you know, like, I don't know.
This is the thing.
This is the thing, okay? It's like they're hustling around and, like, being very, like, predatory, but also, like, they're hustling. So I don't know what is right.
They didn't seem to be hurting women as much
as
they were hurting other young guys.
Just their opinions of women. Yeah, they're hurting young guys, and I'm sure, like, maybe they, like, ghost some women here and there. But, like, the women seem to be loyal to them because the women also are looking for clout as well. So if they're with these people and they're on Instagram, then they're getting more followers. So it's like there's a relationship there that helps both parties. The ones who are like you said, are the young boys that like lose some money and they don't really have any money. That's the problem that I have. But the women that they're involved with seem to like it. So I don't know.
There's a healthy angle to some of these attitudes. And I think the trouble is, in today's society, there is no nuance. Like people cannot accept that a person could be like 50% good and 50% bad. People cannot accept that an idea might work. Because I have always said that some of these traditional shapes of families, they've worked for centuries, like they would work for a reason. The idea of leadership being a man's place, I like, as long as that leadership is defined by making conscientious decisions with the whole family ecosystem in mind. If like you, I have no trouble, and I've said it before in our reality show, even though like I go out to work, I would look to you for leadership in a lot of things with our family. And that's because leading is really annoying. It's taxing. I don't think a lot of women want to do it because it sucks having to make decisions all the time. Like being a leader sucks. And I think a lot of women have stepped into that role because they outlead men. There are a lot of heads of households, quote unquote, in families where the man is a shit leader. He gambles away family money. He's abusive. He's drunk. He loses his job. He's a terrible father. And he goes, I should be the leader. And he leads through like aggression. And that's not a way to lead. You lead by like calm, generous, considered example. And like, to me, that is a good leader.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that.
Great.
Also,
so are these boys leaders?
Well, if they were teaching the boys, if they were like, men are natural leaders, like, okay, I'm with you, explain more.
Right.
If they said, working at Burger King is never going to get your family where it needs to be. You need to think outside the box and generate an income for yourself. And you need to get in the gym and work out because it's good for your mental health. And you need to do this. If they went with that, and then they said, you will attract a suitable partner and you want to have kids, then you need to treat a woman well this way. You need to do it. Like that's
what they're doing. They're taking the good things, like working out and like taking ownership of your own self, and working out is good for you. It's good for mental health. It's good for, getting girls if that's what you want. So they're taking these aspects and then they're using it to then scam and make more money on top of what they're doing. So the points that they're hitting on, they've been hit on by many people, as I mentioned, Jordan Peterson, for a long time. And there is an appetite for that now because of the last decades for boys, that white boys, everyone kind of was off to wanted something fresh. And so these guys are now capitalizing on that message and then also being a bit naughty with it.
And they're salesmen, and they're self-confessed salesmen. I just don't know, and this is where they absolutely lose me, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, all right, yeah, this might make sense. And then they go, and the world is run by Satanists, and it's all the Jews' fault, and they become racist and heavily anti-Semitic by the end. And then you go, huh?
Yeah, well, they're again tapping into this like online thing that people have an appetite for, especially given the climate today.
Which obviously all of that is totally unacceptable, but they do almost no wonder they're all Trump supporters, because I think they do a Donald Trump thing, and Nigel Farage does it in this country, where they masquerade as being a man of the people, and they have this social connection that is actually completely false, and really they're out for themselves, and they'll say anything they have to say, and they are like elite. They think they're better than you, they want to take from you, and they want to scam you while acting like your friend.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
It's like those, those like the 80s. I'm sure they probably still have them. And like those like Midwestern states, they had like the Bible leaders or the church leaders that were just like brainwashing everyone, stealing all the cash, and like also like being evil as well, like killing people, non-monogamous, and anyways, it was the same as that like church phase. I think it maybe still happens where they just kind of have everyone in this comfort space and steal from them at the same time.
Yeah.
And get absolutely rich. So who's at fault for that? The people themselves or the people leading them? It's like a cult.
Yeah, but
like
when your main audience is 13 to 15-year-old boys, is definitely your fault and not theirs. And then this HS TikTok, he said, well, it's the parents. Like, they shouldn't be watching my channel. And that is true.
Yeah.
You need to watch your boys and your
Yeah.
girls and what they're watching, because I think the danger with dehumanizing women, which I think is what they're doing, when they reduce women to being baby factories or cleaners or subservient, and when they say women shouldn't work and women, then you really are at his mercy. He could decide to treat you any way he wants. And when we live in a society when there's still, actually not even declining at all, violence against women and sexual assaults and everything else, to train these boys up devaluing women as people actually puts us in a physically dangerous position. Like it's not just words, it makes these women, I think, at a greater risk to be like physically harmed.
Oh, absolutely. Like those, like the incel culture,
Yeah.
that's no good. So they're tapping into that market, which is, it's a rough space to be in.
But some of what they say, I love.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to get a wooden engraving for the kitchen that says, shut up or nut up. Or is it nut up or shut up?
You can go either way. Maybe
Nut
do
up.
one on the top, one on the bottom.
That's the family motto from now on.
Fine.
Nut up or shut up, kids. Nut up or shut up. I've been nutted up my whole life.
I don't know if you want to be saying that.
Why not? Oh. Well, I've been nutted up a lot in the last 5 years.
There you go.
Okay. And the sad part of the documentary, and I love Louis Theroux and I love Mindhouse, and I think that they did an incredible job. I think it is very carefully presented, and I thought that it was quite poignant at the end to see these boys as children on YouTube.
Yeah.
But like the one
So
friend,
the way they started out, yeah.
yeah, he was making just little YouTube videos eating marshmallows, and all of them had been talking to a camera, participating in social media culture from like 10 years old.
Well, they're trained. Just look at like the Pauls. They started out young, and then you start to learn what gets hits, what get views, and like you adjust, and you become something that you're maybe not even authentic to. You're just trying to earn money at this point. So they found something that works, that makes the money, and they've run with it.
And there is pressure to continue
Right.
to hold that audience's engagement and create more wild videos. Otherwise, you lose your job, essentially. If you lose your following, you lose your income.
Yeah.
And they didn't have dads. Like, none of them had positive male role models in their families. And it's so crazy that what they take away from that is, like, men are better than women. By the way, I love my single mom who worked 6 days a week and, like, put me through private school and actually was the bread earner and did what she was supposed to do. And how's your conclusion? Men are better than women. But not my dad. He fucked off, but
Other men.
yeah, maybe
Overall.
these guys are trying to become their dad.
Who knows what's going on? But it was a good documentary.
And all these boys are quite, like, handsome.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned that many times the last few days, how buff and fit they are, which is true. So like you have to be. If you were like a scrubby like fat guy, you're like yeah, do what I'm doing. It's like no one's gonna buy into that. So you have to be like tall, handsome, fit. Obviously work out. It's there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's a
Correlation.
not a correlation. There's a mold that you have
Yeah.
to fit in order for people to buy into. And if you're like,
Well, the
Not
one
that.
guy dating Angie, he wasn't buff.
which one was Angie?
You know, the one, they brought her in and he's like, don't talk to her. And he was holding the little dog.
Oh, that.
He was holding the gayest little dog.
Well, he's filming. He's not like the star of the show, obviously, right?
Yes, he is.
Well, no, he wasn't.
He was trying to be. He
filming.
thought he
Well,
was.
He's in the mix, but he's not like. He's like a. At some point, if you get big enough, you have to have some little minions
Yeah.
that are like fit enough, but not, working for you.
No. The guy, the darkest guy who was holding the white dog. And Louis was like, can we talk to Angie? And he was like, how do you feel about him having sex with other women? And she was like, I don't like it, but I love him. And then they broke up at the end.
Oh, good.
That guy with the podcast that had all the like bitches and hoes on it.
Oh, I forget which one. Are you talking about the guy that we hated the most?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that guy, yes. You're saying he wasn't that fit.
No. He was like ugly in every way.
Well, he was the worst one. Like, slimiest. And who knows? But
Slimiest. He was slimiest when he said the worst shit. But overall, did you like the documentary?
overall, it was obviously entertaining. Yeah. It's like a.
What's
We love Louis, so
Yeah.
almost anything he does is good anyways. And on top of this, yeah. A nice.
It's so clippable too. Like,
Well, that's the thing. It's so clippable, and that's what their job is, to have clips. So, like,
But I think all the contributors had this fear all along that he was stitching them up because, again, like you said when we began, they would live stream it in real time and their followers would message, oh, Louis is trying to do a hit piece on you.
Yeah.
I did not feel that it was a hit piece at all. I found it incredibly fair and measured. And I, a strident feminist who these guys would hate, liked several things about these guys. I had empathy for these guys. I think it was well done.
Of course.
How are you going to keep Fred away from this shit?
Well, these guys are right. It is kind of up to the parents in a way, whether it be this or something else, like sadomasochism, to like try and, I don't know what these kids find, Fred. Yeah. It is up to the parents in a way to like keep them, under control to an extent and know what they're looking at, because it can lead down dark roads. Like, look at these, we don't have to talk about it, like killers that like, if their parents would have known they were looking at some creepy shit online when they were like 12 years old, they wouldn't grow up and shoot up a school.
I think we practice really sensible online safety, although Fred has started saying, that's well good, that's well nice.
Yeah.
And he got that from a working class influencer. That's well good, Mum.
Well smart.
Chimney. Anyway, there's something happening to women as well that I just want to touch on before we go.
Oh, what's happening?
Well, I think I'm part of this. So I follow a lot of attachment parenting specialists, people in the psychology sphere. And anytime you talk about motherhood relating to biology, there are feminists who get annoyed because it will always lead back to like the baby needs its mother to be with it. And then there are working mothers. Anytime you or are seen to evoke feelings of being criticized in a mother, it's just really visceral and she gets really mad. So I have said things before about attachment parenting. I follow people who are accused of being agents of the patriarchy, literally funded by Jordan Peterson, who you mentioned, funded by extreme right-wing governments, like on the payroll, trying to diminish women's rights, trying to take women out of their workforce, trying to get women off birth control. And they don't do it by saying, like, don't do this, don't do that, women belong in the kitchen. They do it in a much more enticing way by saying, I've stepped into my femininity. I'm no longer in the grind, the hustle and bustle. I'm responding to my child. And so not only do I look, well, not anymore, but I try, I cosplay looking the way men expect women to look. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have fake boobs. I'm under a certain weight. I'm blonde. I put makeup on. I put dresses on. And then I believe in being an attachment mother too. So I have had feminists reach out to me and be like, they've tricked you. The algorithm has you being an agent of the patriarchy, being an agent of the far right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not the experience I have with you. I wish. No, just kidding. I don't even know where to come in on that because I don't know what the algorithms are. But if you're looking for something, you will find it. And if they just kind of know what you want, don't they?
Are they smart enough to...
Well, they'll like send some things. I don't know how it works, but they get you to stay on the app for as long as they can. So if you're seeing things like that, you want to be seeing it, I think.
Right, but by seeing things like that, am I being more obedient? Am I living my life, myself and other women? Are we living our lives in a more far-right traditional way? And are we being enticed over to traditional values by these accounts?
I can't comment on that. I just know the world and society works in different waves and things go and come back and leave. And I don't know.
But do you think, like this woman that I really like, the one that I like that talks about attachment parenting, do you think it's conceivable that she is on the payroll of Jordan Peterson and the far right?
Well, Jordan Peterson's like not even doing so well health-wise. So
yeah, where is he?
He's like almost dying. I think there's something weird going on there. He's not really been online, but I don't know. If this girl's saying stuff about parenting that like, career-driven girls don't like to hear, then they're obviously going to say that, and they may be right. I don't know, but
because there are boys taking it. The parallel that I'm drawing is...
Okay, I'll say this. We have had a few newborns lately, and for the first 3 months of the newborn infant being alive, I've noticed, like, biologically, I am terrible with pure newborns. Once they hit 3 months, 4 months, then like I don't know what changes. Something happens, and I'm like, oh, I can actually like step in and not feel stressed out. And I think in those first 3 months, the child does need its mother far more than their dad, obviously, for many, many reasons. But even like as a guy, I felt like disconnected to these like tiny, tiny babies almost until they were like 3 or 4 months old.
Yeah. And I think as a family, once we stepped into the biological truth of that, which is not to say that there are no dads who are useful in the first 3 months, but I think most dads would probably identify with what Bobby is saying. With Fred, we didn't even know that. And I figured, oh, Bobby wants to stay home with Fred. And we were coming out of COVID. I really had to work. So Bobby looked after Fred a lot. In retrospect, that was a mistake. Bobby had postpartum anxiety probably. And Fred is fine, but it was, looking back.
It felt unnatural in that time.
Then with Fenna, I was home quite a lot when she was that age. And now with Holland, I didn't really even show her to Bobby for 3 months because he was busy with the other two.
But the few nights I had with her alone, like I was like, oh my God, this again. And I just felt so lost.
Yeah.
Not that like I can't handle it, but it was just like, I don't know what she wants. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like helpless.
And in Bobby's
even
defense,
though it was just a couple nights.
She would just respond better to me. And I didn't leave her overnight with you, but
Right.
nights that I'd be home later than usual.
So these ladies that like come out and speak about biology and like things what children need, they are somewhat professionals, and a lot of people no one's going to agree with everything you say anyways, but I think there's a lot of truth to what they're saying.
But the parallel that I'm drawing is in the same way that these Manosphere guys in Louis Theroux's documentary speak some truths.
Yeah, I see where you're going, yes.
And then like a Pied Piper, they take these little boys into like a different political ideology. Am I hanging on to some truths and then being dragged into a political
Now who's a conspiracy theorist?
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of, because this is what the feminists are telling me in my mentions.
That's what they should say. But is it true? I don't know. Who knows? Did we land on the moon? I don't know.
No.
So who knows?
Are you noticing me becoming more traditional?
No. You're watching these videos in private, so you're not really sharing them with me. You're the same. You just like still like don't know who people are and mess up their names, and you're the same old person that watches certain things on TikTok, I guess. I don't know. I don't see it.
Would you like an update on Jordan Peterson?
Sure, yeah.
As of March 2026, Jordan Peterson's current activities and location are primarily marked by his cancellation of his scheduled UK and Ireland tour due to ongoing health concerns. Recent event updates indicate that Peterson is currently dealing with health issues that have resulted in a slow recovery. His doctors are reportedly unable to confirm when he will be well enough to resume touring. A series of shows for his An Evening to Transform Your Life tour, which I didn't even know about. I should have got you tickets to this.
Well, I'm out of the Jordan Peterson like thing now. Like I didn't grow up with a dad, and so when I was like in my 20s, like he was saying things that like, oh, clean your room, get up, do something, don't lay around, like go work, basically. And that's the message that I took. It was like, oh yeah, what am I doing?
Well, I think we both, it sounds like, need to be mindful that we can separate the truths that could be used to draw more vulnerable people into the scams and the political ideologies.
Like I will never like hate women or be a misogynist.
But I don't know if these guys know that they hate women.
You know what? These guys probably don't even hate women. They're just like, the guy has his mom and these girlfriends. Sure, he's got like some side, but are they actually like abusing women? Are they like...
The documentary didn't really go into much of that. Like they had some hypocrisies surrounding OnlyFans, and they did slut shame women, but... And
they like tell me like, I'll like get in the kitchen and all that shit, but like that's just for views too, so it's hard to even know what's real.
And they would openly say that. They'd say, well, I say it for views, but how much
damage? Like the one guy, Myron, the like loser guy, he had something, Louis like got to him at this point, and he like felt vulnerable, and then he like just turned to the girls like, oh, go get me some lunch, because like he felt so emasculated that he like turned around and did something really lame. So it's like, that guy sucked.
That guy was such a loser.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, as always, it is a joy to have you as a guest on Telling Everybody Everything.
It's a joy to be here, as always.
I'm sure we've both made people angry, because I
have no idea what I've even said, so...
I'm not as outraged by the Manosphere as I think people would like me to be. I assume I will get messages who are like, Katherine, we knew it. You are an agent of the patriarchy. You did not go hard enough on these guys. But it's not for me to like dunk on a 23-year-old who is clearly going through
what's
some
your
things
stance
about his
on
own
Bonnie
dad.
Blue?
Oh, one thing I thought was interesting is this guy, H.S. Tiki hated Bonnie Blue. There was something about her.
So I believe there to be like a correlation between what they're doing
Yeah.
and she's doing. Like, I think you've done a podcast about her.
Yeah.
Obviously she's not doing great things, but she's earning loads of money. It's like,
Yeah.
and why would he hate her?
It's because of what my dad used to say.
Like, slut?
No, my dad used to say, that guy's got something I just can't stand about me. They see eye to eye. They are each other. Bonnie Blue is H.S. Tiki H.S. Tiki is Bonnie Blue.
Well, they need to get married.
Oh, the perfect ending. All right, if you ever want to write us an email, it is tellingeverybodyeverything@gmail.com. How did you feel about the Manosphere? Have you watched it? What else am I missing about this documentary of, I think, just a bunch of really great guys?
It's just a fun watch. Like,
You gotta shut up or nut up. And I'm